A man don't gotta be locked in a cell to be trapped. That's what they don't tell you. They took the chains off our wrists and wrapped them around our minds. It's deeper than bars or fences now. It's thoughts, it's distractions, it's the stories they make you believe about yourself. That's the new control. You don't even realize you trapped because it feels like freedom. You got a phone, you got choices, you got comfort. But your power's slipping away little by little while you smiling thinking you in control. See, they learned something powerful. You don't need to break a man when you can make him break himself. You just gotta feed him the right illusions. Show him what to chase. Tell him what success look like. Make him feel behind and he'll run himself into the ground trying to catch up. That's how they keep you busy. They call it ambition, but really it's manipulation. You out here grinding for validation that don't even feed your soul. You buying things to look rich instead of building something to stay rich. That's the trap, invisible but heavy. They program you to compete instead of connect, to hate instead of learn, to compare instead of create. And once they get you doing that, they don't need to do nothing else. You'll keep your own self small because you're scared of judgment. You'll silence your ideas because you're afraid they won't clap. You'll settle for less because they told you this is enough. It's mental slavery, bro. Polish, package, and promote it like it's the dream. You ever notice how peace feel foreign now? Like you can't sit still without reaching for your phone, without checking what's next, without chasing another high. That's manipulation. They got your attention addicted. They got your energy divided. They feeding you dopamine while stealing your discipline. You think you living, but you just reacting. You think you choosing, but they already chose for you what you see, what you hear, what you value. And the cold part, you call it freedom. A real man gotta see through that. Because if you don't master your mind, somebody else will. They'll shape your beliefs. They'll build your fears. They'll limit your vision. And you won't even fight back. You'll defend the very system that's using you. That's how deep it go. They don't gotta stop you physically. They just gotta make you believe you can't move. That's the invisible fence around your potential. But once you start seeing it, once you start questioning what you've been taught, that's when you start waking up. You realize you ain't your mistakes, you ain't your followers, you ain't your possessions. You more than what they market to you. You bigger than the box they trying to fit you in. Freedom start right there. When you stop letting people rent space in your head. When you stop letting opinions dictate your pace. When you stop chasing what don't feed your purpose. You gotta protect your peace like it's profit. You gotta guard your focus like it's currency. Because that's what they after, your focus. If they can keep you distracted, they can keep you defeated. But once you decide I'm done being manipulated by comfort, by fear, by trends, you flip the whole game. You start playing defense and start building legacy. You gotta think for yourself, move for yourself, believe in something bigger than what's trending. The world gonna keep trying to sell you shortcuts, fast money, fake love, fake peace. But all that's just bait. You stay solid, you stay disciplined, you stay aware. That's how you beat the system. It's easy to see a cage when it's made of steel. But it takes real vision to see a cage made of thoughts. That's why the strongest men ain't the loudest, they the calm ones, the focused ones, the ones who know where they're going and don't let nobody play with their mind. So when you wake up tomorrow, ask yourself, who's controlling my thoughts today? Me or the world? Because the day you start owning that answer, that's the day you break the last chain. Everybody talk about independence like it's just money or freedom, but the real independence starts inside. Because once they control how you feel, they control how you move. That's the game most people don't see. Emotional dependency. That's the new form of control. You can't see it, but it runs your life if you let it. It's when your peace depends on somebody's validation, when your confidence depends on their opinion, when your worth depends on how they treat you. That's when they own you, not with power, not with status, but with emotion. So they don't gotta break you physically no more. They just gotta make you feel like you ain't enough without them. That's the manipulation that's sliding quiet. It don't yell, it don't fight. It just whispers doubt into your mind, makes you chase approval, attention, affection. You start thinking love means control. You start thinking being loyal means losing yourself. You start thinking being emotional means being weak. And that's how they keep you in the loop. You become predictable, reactive, easy to steer. Once they figure out what makes you angry, what makes you insecure, what makes you crave, they got you. You can be the toughest man in the room, but if they can play with your emotions, you're a puppet to whoever know how to pull those strings. That's why you see strong men fall to weak games. Because they mastered money, they mastered the hustle, but they never mastered their emotions. That's where real strength lives. Not in how loud you talk, not in how hard you hit, but in how centered you stay when everything around you trying to shake your spirit. You gotta learn to feel without folding. You got to learn to love without losing yourself. Because once you attach your peace to somebody else's behavior, you just gave them the remote to your soul. It teaches you to chase external validation from the jump. Likes, followers, claps, compliments, all that becomes your fuel. But it's fake gas, you run out quick. That's why so many people burn out, because they're trying to fill a hole that only self-respect can fill. The moment you depend on the outside to feel good inside, you're already losing. Because the outside world gonna switch up every day. You can't build stability on something that ain't solid. And let's be real, this manipulation don't just come from people. It comes from systems. They feed you emotion to sell you distraction. They feed you fear to keep you obedient. They feed you desire to keep you buying. You become emotionally programmed, happy when they say, scared when they say, sad when they say, and most never question it because it feels normal. But the ones who break free, they move different. They don't chase energy, they create it. They don't beg for peace, they protect it. They don't let their emotions decide their direction. They still feel, still love, still care, but they don't lose control in the process. That's balance, that's maturity, that's real freedom. It's not about being cold, it's about being conscious, knowing what you feel, why you feel it, and who benefits from that feeling. When you understand that, you can't be manipulated no more. You start making choices based on logic and love, not fear and impulse. You stop reacting and start responding. You stop explaining and start moving. You stop proving and start building. People gonna test you. They're gonna try to pull emotion out of you just to see if they still got power over you. But your job is to stay still in that storm. Calm don't mean you weak. It means you in control. Because anybody can move off emotion. It takes discipline to move off purpose. You gotta love yourself enough to walk away from anything that makes you question your worth. You gotta remind yourself that your emotions are your responsibility, not a weapon somebody else get to use. Once you understand that, you can't be used, you can't be played, you can't be drained. Control your emotions and you control your energy. Control your energy and you control your environment. That's the truth most people never learn. Because they too busy chasing feelings instead of building peace. So protect your heart, but not by building walls, by building awareness. Don't let nobody trick you into thinking love means losing power. Love should free you, not trap you. Peace should grow you, not silence you. The moment you stop letting people dictate your emotional weather, you become the climate. And when you reach that level, nobody can touch you, even when they try. Comfort is the quiet killer, the one that don't announce itself, don't come with a warning, don't make noise, it just slides in soft, wraps around you, and before you know it, your hunger gone. That's how it works. It don't destroy you overnight. It numbs you slow. It gives you just enough to make you forget what you're still missing. You start telling yourself, I'm good, when deep down you know you ain't reached nothing close to your potential. It's easy to chase a dream when you broke, when you hungry, when you got nothing to lose. That's when the fire burning the brightest. But the real test comes when you get a little bit of success, a little bit of stability, a little bit of comfort. That's when most people fall off, not because they weak, but because comfort feels safe. And safety feels like peace, even when it's really just stagnation in disguise. See, the grind don't end when you win a little. The grind starts when you got something to lose. Because now the mission ain't just to make it, it's to maintain it, to grow it, to evolve past it. Comfort tells you to chill, to take a break, to slow down. It tells you that you deserve it, and you do, but not if that rest turns into rust. Not if that peace turns into paralysis. The world trick you into thinking comfort is the goal. They tell you, get the money, get the house, get the car, then you can relax. But that's the trap, because once you relax too long, your drive starts dying. Your curiosity fades. Your creativity dulls. You stop seeing opportunities. You stop learning. You stop stretching. And slowly you stop becoming. Comfort make you forget why you started. It makes you think you done when the journey just beginning. That's why most people never reach greatness, because they confuse arrival with purpose. They hit one milestone and park there forever. But real ones know there ain't no finish line. There's only growth, elevation, and expansion. You ever notice how life gets harder the moment you try to grow? That's not the universe hating on you, that's life testing how bad you really want it. But when you're too comfortable, you avoid that test. You avoid discomfort, confrontation, failure, all the things that actually build strength. You start choosing easy over effective, pleasure over progress, validation over vision. That's how comfort kills empires before they even start. You got to learn to stay uncomfortable on purpose. Put yourself in rooms that stretch you. Take on challenges that scare you. Be around people who make you level up. Because if you the smartest, richest, or most driven person in every circle you in the wrong circles. Comfort will tell you that's leadership. But in truth, that's laziness wearing confidence. Growth always demands sacrifice. You can't be growing and comfortable at the same time. One always got to die for the other to live. So when you feel that discomfort, that anxiety, that stretch, that uncertainty, that's not weakness. That's your soul evolving. That's the pain of progress. Learn to love it. I've seen people lose their vision because they got too comfortable. They stopped pushing. They stopped learning. They stopped believing there was more to build. And once your belief fades, your energy follows. Then your habits fall apart. And once your habits go, it's only a matter of time before everything else collapses with it. That's how comfort kills. Slow, silent, spiritual. You got to keep a little bit of hunger in you no matter how full you get. That hunger keep you sharp. It keep you focused. It remind you that you still got mountains to climb. Don't ever let your last win make you forget there's more to achieve. Comfort will lie to you. It'll whisper, you've done enough. It'll make you look at people still grinding and say, they doing too much. But real ones know the grind don't stop when you're comfortable. It stops when you fulfill. And fulfillment only comes from growth, not rest. So don't chase comfort, chase clarity. Don't chase easy, chase evolution. The ones who keep pushing when everything in them say chill, those are the ones who build legacies. Those are the ones who inspire. Those are the ones who never fade. Comfort might feel good, but it don't build nothing. It don't sharpen you. It don't test you. It don't make you better. So keep moving, keep building, keep chasing that version of yourself that's still out there waiting. Because the moment you settle, that's the moment you start dying. The game they play ain't about change or control anymore. It's about distraction. That's the new system. They don't need to stop you. They just need to keep you busy. They flood your life with noise till you forget what silence feels like. Every scroll, every notification, every headline, every fake outrage is all designed to pull your focus from the mission. Because a focused man is dangerous. But a distracted one, he's easy to guide, easy to sell to, easy to control. You wake up, check your phone, boom, they already got your attention before you even open your eyes fully. They feed you fear, gossip, comparison, and call it information. They feed you validation, likes, and filters, and call it confidence, and we fall for it because it feels like connection. But it's all engineered. Every sound, every color, every algorithm tuned to keep you scrolling instead of thinking. That's the real trap. You think you living, but you just reacting to what they feed you. They built a world where attention is currency, and the product, your focus is worth more than gold now. Every second you waste on noise is another dollar they make. That's why they never let you breathe. They don't want you quiet, because quiet brings clarity. Clarity brings purpose, and purpose can't be manipulated. See, society don't want too many thinkers. They want workers, watchers, consumers. People who follow trends, not people who build them. People who chase comfort, not people who create a legacy. That's why they keep you entertained. So you never stop to question why you're doing what you're doing. You're stuck in a loop of distraction dressed up as progress. You think you're choosing, but every choice already influenced. They show you success like it's all luxury and a spotlight, but they hide the grind, the sleepless nights, the discipline. Because if they showed you the truth, half of the system would fall apart. The truth don't sell as good as the fantasy. That's why you see so much flash and so little substance. It's all bait. They want you chasing trends, not transformation. They want you competing for attention instead of focusing on evolution. And it's not just the media, it's people too. Society trains you to perform instead of live. You start caring more about how things look than how they feel. You start comparing your behind the scenes to everybody else's highlight reel. You lose your authenticity trying to keep up with illusions. That's the game. Make you insecure enough to buy, busy enough to forget, entertained enough to stay asleep. But once you see through it, you move different. You start guarding your time like it's treasure. You stop feeding the noise. You start choosing what you consume, not just with your mouth, but with your eyes, your ears, your spirit. You realize everything you watch, everything you hear, everything you repeat is programming your reality. So you get intentional. You build habits that feed your soul, not drain it. The real revolution is focus. The man who can stay centered in a world built to distract him, he unstoppable. Because when everybody else chasing the next trend, he building something timeless. When they arguing over nonsense, he mastering his craft. When they scrolling, he's studying. That's how you win in a world of noise, by moving in silence with purpose. But don't get it twisted. Distraction ain't always loud. Sometimes it comes in the form of comfort, of relationships that drain you, of fake opportunities that sound good but lead nowhere. You gotta learn to recognize when something's feeding your growth or just feeding your ego. Because not every movement is progress, and not every noise deserves your reaction. Every man gotta ask himself, what am I building? What am I feeding my mind with? Who benefits from my attention? Because if you don't own your focus, somebody else does. That's the truth. Nobody wants to face. The world gonna keep trying to pull you off track. That's the system's design. But once you learn to move with intention, you stop playing that game. You realize you don't gotta respond to everything. You don't gotta prove nothing. You just gotta stay consistent, stay grounded, stay aware. Silence becomes your strength. Focus becomes your weapon. And while the world gets lost in the noise, you out here writing your own story, one decision, one move, one moment at a time. Because that's how you beat distraction, by living with purpose in a world that profits off your confusion. Freedom don't start when you get the bag, or when you move out the hood, or when you buy that car you dreamed about. Freedom starts the moment you become aware, when you start seeing the game for what it really is. Awareness is the first step to real power, because you can't change what you don't understand. Once your eyes open, once your spirit start recognizing the patterns, you realize how much of your life was being played on autopilot. You realize how many decisions you made just to fit in, how many dreams you buried just to stay safe, how many times you settled because the world told you to be realistic. That's what awareness does. It shakes you. It's uncomfortable. It don't feel good at first because it forces you to face everything you've been avoiding. The lies you told yourself, the habits that hold you back, the people who don't really want to see you win. Awareness exposes the truth, and truth ain't always easy to swallow. But that's the only way to be free. Because if you living in denial, you just a slave with better scenery. When you're aware, you start noticing the manipulation in the media, in relationships, in the culture. You start catching the distractions before they catch you. You start realizing how much of this world is built to keep you numb and disconnected from yourself. They keep you chasing what don't matter so you never wake up to what does. Awareness breaks that cycle. It puts you back in the driver's seat. Once you're aware, you stop blaming and start building. You stop waiting on somebody to save you. You start realizing nobody coming. It's on you. And that don't mean you become cold. It means you become conscious. You stop letting emotions make decisions that logic should handle. You stop letting fear dictate your future. You stop being reactive to the world and start being intentional with your energy. Awareness teaches you that peace ain't out there. It's in here. It's in how you move, how you think, how you respond. When you're aware, you see through people's intentions. You can feel energy before it speaks. You stop mistaking noise for movement. You start respecting your intuition more than opinions. And once you hit that level, nobody can play you because you can't be fooled by what you already understand. That's the real meaning of freedom. Mental clarity. Being able to think for yourself from the world trying to tell you what to believe. Being able to move with purpose when everybody else chasing distractions. Freedom ain't about doing whatever you want. It's about having the discipline to do what's right for your spirit. It's about knowing what serves you and what drains you. It's about choosing yourself without apology. The more aware you become, the more the world starts revealing itself. You see how fear runs the system. You see how insecurity drives the market. You see how comparison kills creativity. And then you realize the only way to really win is to step outside that cycle. You stop chasing validation, stop seeking permission, stop explaining your vision to people who ain't meant to see it. Awareness gives you that confidence, that quiet, grounded confidence that don't need to prove anything. Most people scared of awareness because it demands accountability. Once you know better, you can't pretend you don't. You can't keep blaming luck, timing, or people. You got to own your role. You got to face your reflection. That's heavy for some, but it's also freeing. Because once you take that power back, nobody can use your past against you. You realize every mistake was a lesson. Every failure was direction. Every delay was protection. That kind of awareness makes you unstoppable. You start moving with intention. Every step got meaning. Every word got purpose. You stop living on impulse and start living on vision. And that's when the blessings start aligning, not because you chasing them, but because you finally in tune with what's real. Freedom ain't about escaping the system. It's about mastering yourself inside it. Awareness is what gives you that power. When you're aware, the world can't sell you lies. When you're aware, pain don't break you. It teaches you. When you're aware, you stop existing and start living. So look around. Ask yourself what's real and what's noise. Ask yourself what you're doing from fear and what you're doing from faith. Awareness ain't the end, it's the beginning. It's the spark that turns confusion into clarity, chaos into direction, and life into legacy. Because once your mind wake up, your freedom already started, and there's no going back from that.